hi, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. I
No
really enjoyed
problem, Jamie.
the first 10 episodes. The first thing I wanted to ask you is kind of what were you doing when you found out that it was going to be picked up by Netflix, and what were your first initial reactions?
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty crazy. Um, the the bad news comes slowly, but even the good news comes kind of slowly. So I I was aware for much of the summer that there was a great possibility. So there was that moment when I found out that we were in conversations with Netflix. So
Mhm.
that was exciting. And then weeks passed. Hey, we're getting closer. We think we're getting closer. So I was in a good mood for the back half of June, all of July, much of August. And I think I probably finally found out in the middle of August that we had a deal. And, it was just so incredibly exciting and gratifying. What was most exciting about it was that I could tell people, I could tell the actors, and I could tell, my family, and then we all kind of had a secret. And you may recall it was announced on 8/28, and so we all kind of shared in this secret, and then Netflix created this great 8/28 trailer that we put out, that they put out, at 8:28 a.m. Pacific on August 28th. And to be part of that secret was really fun. But it was probably the most exciting moment of my career, I would say, or maybe after when the show got on the air in the first place. One of the great highlights of my life, of course.
Yeah, I was going to say because it happened a lot, I think, because of the fans, obviously. So you know that people like it and that it's doing good.
That's right.
I think you had said before that you sort of had this planned out from the beginning, what was going to happen, but how much did, I guess, your original idea deviate from what ended up being the 4 seasons that you got?
Yeah. You know, less than you would think in terms of deviating from the game plan. I don't know what the number is, but I would say, there's a bunch of story points that I would call flags in the sand
Hmm.
that I've had from the very beginning, that many of which I pitched out, you know, at the very beginning when I first pitched the show years ago. And when we found out that we had 20 more episodes, we grabbed those flags and I brought them into the writer's room. And we said, okay, we have 20 episodes, which we knew were going to be 2 drops of 10, right? 2 drops of 10 episodes. And so in a streaming universe, that's sort of the equivalent to 2 seasons, because in the streaming world, most shows are 8 to 10 episodes. And so, you have all these boards in the writer's room. In fact, we were working in a Zoom universe. So we were all looking at each other in our squares. And we had an app that puts virtual screens on your virtual walls. And that's how we wrote the final 2 seasons of the show. And so anyway, these flags in the sand that I'm talking about, we started distributing them on our screens just to figure out, okay, well, how do our story points fit over these 20 episodes? And it's not as challenging as you think. So if in my mind, originally, I thought we were going to have 6 seasons. So therefore, I originally thought we'd have 3 additional seasons at this point. So if you say that would have been 30 episodes, okay, well, now we have 20 episodes instead of 30. So we have these story points, these flags that originally I would have distributed over 30 episodes. How do we condense them over 20? And and we're always thinking on Manifest, as you do on any show that's kind of an event mystery, one story going forward, as opposed to a cop show or a lawyer show or a doctor show. You're always thinking on an event mystery about, well, what's going to happen at the end of the season? What's the season out, right? And then within a season, you're thinking, what's the mid-season cliffhanger, right? So you're always thinking about cliffhangers, right? So the big initial question that we asked ourselves when we're looking at 20 episodes and how to take 30 and put them into 20. So 20 episodes is 10 and 10. So with 30 episodes, you normally would have a season out at 10 and a season out at 20. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
Right. How you get out of that block of 10 and how you get out of that block of 20. What's the season out? What's the Who Shot JR at the end of block 1 and block 2 that gets us in, that pushes us into block 3? Well, there is no block 3. There's only 2 blocks. So what are we going to make our big act out? What's going to be episode 410? Right? And we're looking at all of our story points, all of our flags in the sand. And so you've seen 10 episodes now. And so remind me, when people watch our conversation, they'll already have seen the 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So we decided, as everyone knows now, we decided the most important story points that we were going to use as our season out, if you will, the block 1 out, was Zeke's ultimate sacrifice so that Cal could live. Right. That was one of our big outs. And the other one was Angelina getting infused with sapphire and escaping.
That I didn't expect.
Right. And escaping from the church. No one knows she's alive except the audience. And those were the 2 or 3, Zeke, Cal, and Angelina. Those were the big story points that we were going to get out of block 1 with. So that was the first decision that we made. Put that up on the board. And then we started building backwards and forwards from there. And we knew all of our other story points. And so we knew, well, we know everything that happened. All of these story points happened before that moment. All of these story points happen after that moment. And so now we're just putting story points on the boards. Okay, well, this happens in block 1. This happens in block 2, block 1, block 2, block 1, block 2. And you're putting pieces of the puzzle on the board. And then we start building around those, and episodes start falling into place. And then we start asking ourselves, okay, well, what happens halfway through the season? And like that. And so we go kind of from 410 to 405 and from 410 to 415. And we're very methodical about it because we like thinking about the big end point. And then we like thinking about mid-season. So for us, 405 is a really big episode. Right. So when the rescue of Eden was a really big flag in the sand for us. So that's 405. Losing the Callings, big story point for us, 415. And that's how we organize. It. So we're very methodical about it, and episodes start forming, and we just keep doing that, and eventually, we have block 1 and block 2, and then within that we have episodes. Okay, well that goes in the season premiere. That's 401, the arrival of Henry Kim, and establishing that Angelina has Eden. That's 401. And it's a game. It's a really fun game, incredibly challenging, but also really fun. And that's how we build our episodes. That's how we did it.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to what happens next. We got a little bit of a wait here, but we'll see. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Again, I apologize that I was late. I know we didn't get as much time, but at least we got to talk a little bit. So.
Oh, good. No, thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have the conversation.
You too. Have a good day.
Thanks, Jamie.